Sarada Muraleedharan, Kerala's Chief Secretary, recently took to Facebook to address the colorist comment made about her leadership, which compared it to that of her predecessor, happens to be her husband. In her post, she mentioned, and I'm going to quote her here, "Why did I want to call this particular one out? I was hurt, yes. But then these last 7 months have been a relentless parade of comparisons with my predecessor, and I have become quite inured. It was about being labeled black with that quiet subtext of being woman, as it was something to be desperately ashamed of. Black is as black does, not just black the color, but black the neither do good, black the malaise, black could cold despotism, the heart of darkness." She in fact further added that as a 4-year-old, I apparently asked my mother whether she could put me back in her womb and bring me out again, all white and pretty. I have lived for over 50 years buried under the narrative of not being a color that was good enough. Further, she wrote that till my children who gloried in their black heritage, who kept finding beauty where I noticed none, who thought that black was awesome, who helped me see that black is beautiful, that black is gorgeousness, that I dig black. Shocking, isn't it? Her chief secretary had to call it out in public. Let's also speak about who is Sarada Muraleedharan. Let's speak on the competence. She is a 1990 batch Indian Administrative Services or IAS officer. She became Kerala's Chief Secretary on August 31st of 2024 following her husband's retirement. But prior to that, she had also served as Additional Chief Secretary in Planning and Economic Affairs. So that's about her merit. That's about the academics. Still being called out because of her skin color, because of her gender, extremely appalling in nature, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Let's speak with our guest about how exactly do they feel about this comment that has come in for a woman in leadership position. Joining us on the broadcast is author and social activist Shalin Maria, also women rights activist Brinda Adige. Thank you so much. Also, in fact, my colleague Sudha Sadanand, consulting editor of News9. 3 of us, beautiful women joining us here on the broadcast over this discussion. Sudhaji, let me first come to you. Let's speak about year 2025. We are speaking about women at leadership position because of their merit, because of the intelligence that they hold. We rarely see women at leadership positions, but those who make it to that position are being questioned because of the skin color, because of her gender.
Well, I dig black. Do all the girls here dig black? I mean, we all have to nod and say, yes, we dig black. I mean, what's black got to do with anything? And let me tell you, Sakshi, it really doesn't matter. The thing is that, look at it, Kerala has 95% literacy. It's the most literate state so far as women are concerned. But you hear this. So everyone must be saying that, how come we thought education actually buries all these biases? No, they don't. This is a wake-up call. We all have to, wake up and smell the black coffee, as it were, to understand that when a woman reaches a particular position, it is not just the merit that she's wanting to excel in. It's not just that how well she does, but what is more important is that she gets ready because it's her looks, the color, her weight, her character. Did you know this? Did you know this about her, etc., etc.? And I'm really, considering my show, The South Indian, and being a South Indian, I'm appalled by this so-called bias against Sharada. And what also is very, very shocking is bureaucrats are trained to kind of keep their counsel. They do not speak out of turn. That's their training. But imagine the kind of bias that she must have faced, that she came out to a social media platform and said it as it should have been. And South Indians who always take umbrage at, oh, why is a North Indian calling us black? This happens in the South, where she hears in the corridors whispers comparing her tenure with her husband, Sakshi.
Absolutely. Shalin Maria Lawrence, let's come to you. We women, we often do ignore such comments coming in our way, right? But now this is the time that an IAS officer, a chief secretary, she has to come out in public. She has to narrate down the horror she had to go through. Something big must have happened, right?
It would have actually bothered her a lot. It is trauma. Colorism is trauma, actually, to go through colorism. Because we have all been through that. I've been through that. I have bleached my face. I have gone for some, glutathione treatments just because I was working in IT and everybody were calling about my skin. And end of the day, I have to, show myself, fairer. So end of the day, even for matrimony, I think once what Sudham said, Tamilians are very proud of their color. I don't think so. South Indians are not proud of their color at all. In fact, South Indians look up to people who are very fair. And in fact, they also, when they go for matrimonial sites, when they seek for bride, they say fair, need fair skinned bride. And black, or I wouldn't say color of Indian skin tone is just black and white, because Indian skin tone is a lovely multicolored spectrum. I would say caramel, olive, dark olive, golden. It's a beautiful color. But end of the day, we just talk about black and white. And then, especially in South India, I know there's a kind of insecurity or inferiority complex when it comes to color, and they always look up to people who are fair. And what Sharda has gone through, let me be very specific about Kerala, because personally, I think Kerala is more colorist, and they have an inclination towards fairer skin tones. But if you go deep, coastal parts of Kerala, you can see the Dalit, Bahujan, or Adivasi Kerala women being beautiful darker skin tones, but that is considered inferior by the the fair looking upper caste Malayali women. So this we have been witnessing it for a long time, and even I've been called as Karpi. The name is called Karpi. So the way they call you as Karpi, uh, and it doesn't your class will not stop it, because even if you mobile, you're upward mobile because of your class or your work or whatever it is, still your skin tone matters in India. So she might be an IAS officer, she might be an IPS officer, she might be an science a woman in STEM who's a scientist, but still what matters is, she is a little bit dark, no, she's a little bit black, what shall we do about it? So this comes from a place of pain. So what has happened to her, it comes from a place of pain, because women cannot cross this path. So even when I make social media, I'm in social media, I'm very active, I make a lot of political comments, they will not even reply to me in my own language. The thing, they will body shame me. So they think a woman can be easily put back. I think Sharada is very, very, very powerful, and these men cannot match her power. And that's the reason they are using skin tone and and body shaming her, so that they think they can put her back or push her back.